Ashwini, welcome to the studio of Red FM. It is a pleasure, it is an honor to have you with us.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you.
Ashwini, what a journey. You were a techie.
Yeah.
And now you've completed a race that is, when I need to get these numbers right, a 173-kilometer race where you didn't sleep for what, 45 hours?
Yeah.
And you became the only non-Japanese athlete in a deep Japan Ultra 100 race. That's what it's called.
Right, this year.
I don't know where to start. Why don't you just start, Ashwini? Like your journey as a techie and the transition into being an athlete, and now you're a full-time endurance coach, correct?
Right.
Please, Ashwini, over to you.
Well, yeah, to everyone listening, I also come from the corporate background of 9-to-5 jobs, and I worked in the IT for 9 years before deciding to quit and do something else with life. That's how it began. It was not running that really got me out of the corporate. It was this boredom and also the routine and mundane job of just doing the same thing over and over. So our company had sponsored us for a 10-kilometer run, and that's how it began. I have an athletic childhood background, and I've played field hockey in school, and even until my first year engineering, I was very active. But then, life takes over, and then
Gotta pay your bills.
Yeah, my father was like, okay, nothing more is happening with your sports. Stop all that. Focus on your studies.
You're a Bangalore girl, born and raised here?
Yeah, I'm from the Malnad region of Karnataka. Sagra is our native. And so he was very particular that, okay, nothing more. No more playing around and just focus on studies.
Get serious.
Yeah, so after about, I think, 6 years of complete halt to any of my sporting, it was my first company that had these corporate sports meet, and I was good at pretty much everything because there was nobody else.
Okay.
So any event that I would enter, I would win that. So it was just on and off. Once a year, you get all the prizes, and it was going on.
It's that dopamine hit that I still got it.
Yeah.
The school and college days of medals.
And you're so encouraged, and they're like, oh my God, she can just go and run and do all this and stuff like that. But yeah, it was my last company that sponsored us for this 10-kilometer event. I wouldn't say they regret it now, but that's what actually got me started. It was in 2014. It was the Midnight Marathon 10-kilometer event, and 30 of us from our company participated in that event. So that was a time when, I couldn't even run for 200 meters. I remember training for that, whatever training that I did at that time. It was more of, I think, 100 meters of jog and then panting for the next 5 minutes and then catching up and trying to finish that 10-kilometer. After doing that first 10K, I just had this moment of realization that, oh my God, where has this been my whole life? And I've just missed it. And I signed up for every single event that was happening in Bangalore after that.
Okay.
And in the 1 year span, I think I participated in some 12 or 13 events.
And this is while you were still working?
Yes. This was in 2014, 2015 timeline. And 2016 is when I decided, I would like to try something else. So,
You quit your job?
Yeah, 2016, I quit my job. I told my husband and my in-laws that, I think I would like to do something else.
What was that something else? Did you know, or was that up in the air?
So I had a DSLR that I had purchased, and I'd been trying my hand at it for about 3-4 years by then. And I did do professional photography for a year. And it's like, okay, I think I can manage some finances. So I had some corporate assignments with another friend, and we did that gig for about 1.5 years after. By then, running was also happening in parallel, but it was I had never thought that it would really take over my life, and that would be something that really would take me places. I've been to pretty much every state in India now through events.
Courtesy running?
Yeah. So I would sign up for an event, go from here to Ahmedabad, do an event, meet some people, make friends, come back, and then look forward to the next event that I can do. So that's how it began. But earlier on, I realized that I don't have the pace that usually people chase. I can do a 10K in, say, 70 minutes. The general mindset is, can I do it faster in the next event, right? That's how all of us humans really thrive. We would want to improve.
Right.
But my thing was, okay, I did a 10K, I still had a lot of energy. Can I do a 21 kilometer?
So you were working on endurance and not pace at that point?
Throughout.
Throughout.
Yeah.
Okay.
All along, I've always been about if I can do a 10 kilometer and how can I
make it 15,
yeah,
20, then
20
a half
and,
marathon.
Yeah. So half. Why are people calling it half marathon? Why not full? So I was like, okay, let me just sign up for a marathon. And that's how it just went on. And then instead of timing, it was more about distance. So a marathon.
So wait, are you telling me from 10 kilometers, you eventually closed in 173 kilometers?
Yeah, pretty much over the years, you know.
That's like 4 full marathons together.
Yeah,
Almost,
when you put
right?
it that way, yeah, it seems like a lot. But
One step at a time?
yeah, it's easier when you break it down into smaller pieces. That's what I tell people. You don't eat a chapati as a whole, right? You actually break them down into smaller pieces and you're able to eat it. So that's how you break down distances, even if you have to run a 5 kilometer. Let's say somebody who's listening, who's never run ever, and if I tell them that, oh, you can run 173 kilometers, they'll be like, yeah, that's not happening. This is some fancy thing that you are just gaslighting us into. But if you can start off and then be patient and not really go about and say that I want to do it in 3 months, I have to do it within this particular span, then probably it's hard. But then if you take time, it's taken me 10 years to get here from a 10 kilometer run.
I was going to come to that. So 10K to 173 kilometers has taken you 10 patient, consistent, resilient years.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this race, Ashwini, Deep Japan Ultra 100. I don't think a lot of people in India knew about it till you became the only non-Japanese athlete this year to complete the race. And now everyone wants to know, what is this race, which is Asia's most demanding trail race? And I believe it's not a flat terrain. You are going through 3 major mountain climbs and you were carrying 8 kilos of mandatory safety gear. It took you 45 hours and 42 minutes to complete it. I know you're not about the numbers, but I'm still going to drop that in. And only 63 people managed out of 135 runners to even complete that race. You didn't sleep or what?
I tried sleeping. So we had these nap rooms. There are these aid stations which are called as checkpoints in Japan, which support you with water, some food.
Medical help if you need.
Yes. So those were there at every alternate checkpoints. So after, I think, 26 hours, the second day, it was so hot and I was feeling like I was completely drained. And I felt that maybe if I try and nap for a bit, maybe it would help. So I went into the nap room, and Japanese are very particular about how things are done. And they were like, immediately, please remove your shoes. And
I love the Japanese.
All that.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I'll have to again put it back, so I'm spending time. But anyway, I went in and I tried to sleep. But there was so much of adrenaline that I just couldn't.
But Ashwini, this was after 26 hours? So you were on the move for more than a day and then you decided to nap and you still couldn't nap?
Yeah. That happens. We've all been through it. When you're very tired and you've had a really long day, you might think, if you've been physically active, mental stress, I'm not even
That's
going
separate,
there,
yes.
what all of us go through. But if you've worked out or things like that and it has been very strenuous on the body, there's so much of hormonal imbalance that has happened that the body doesn't allow you to fall asleep. So I tried for like 2 minutes. I had requested the gentleman who was outside, who's from the medical team, and I had told him, can you please wake me up in 10 minutes? I don't want to be
You
here.
wanted to nap for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, power nap. Like how they say in 3 Idiots.
Yes.
So,
It's crazy.
6 minutes or 7 minutes of power nap. And I just sat back up and I was like, okay, there's no point. I'm not even able to sleep, so I'm just going to go. I came out and he asked me, oh, no sleep? Because they don't speak much English.
Yes.
So he knew that much. So I said, no sleep. So going. He said, okay, good. So
Wow.
that's how. And then I didn't try napping after that because the body was just awake.
So you didn't sleep for what? 2 nights,
Yeah,
and you were on the move non-stop for 45 plus hours.
right.
Ashwini, you got to tell us what's the diet game going on here? Like, maybe on a general basis when you're training, and on race day, if you can break that down for a lot of amateur athletes, intermediate athletes, and the ones who have goals like you do.
I wouldn't say no fried food and I'm on a diet or things like that, but it's more balanced food where I'm aware of what kind of macros are going in. So a little more protein. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat egg. So,
because vegetarians also have categories in India.
Yeah,
the ones who
I'm
eat eggs.
no egg vegetarian.
Pure, as they say, pure vegetarian. Okay.
So I've always been, I was born and raised as a vegetarian and I've chosen to remain that way.
Right.
So it's pretty much that, with my upbringing, I come from the Malnad region and we've always eaten healthy. That has always been there. Even the papad, we have these raw jackfruit papad, which is not fried, rather roasted. And we have it with liquid jaggery.
So there's no sugar also, naturally as a part of diet.
Yeah. So this has been my lifestyle all throughout.
Tell me your breakfast. It is a breakfast show. I'm very curious and I'm going to ask you all these questions, Ashwini. What's your standard breakfast, lunch, dinner, and if there's a snack in between, what is that?
Breakfast is normal South Indian cuisine, whatever is happening at home. Upma and poha, dosa, whatever is happening. But along with that, I do have my supplements of B12 or vitamin D and then vitamin C. So, which is additionally required for my sport to keep my body in shape. But I'm not a snacker. I don't have the habit of snacking in between. But one thing that I've always followed and I feel that helps a lot is eating as per hunger.
When your body tells you to eat.
Yeah, so I never have a strict rule that, I am having 1 katori of rice or dal or 2 chapatis or anything like that. Some days I don't feel that hungry, so I skip breakfast. I have my brunch directly at say 11 or 12 in the noon, but it depends on how my body is on that day. So I really
listen to your body and you're in sync with what your body needs.
Most times we are just going by this routine that has been set and we've been brainwashed to believe that, breakfast is the most important meal of the day and you have to have muesli or oats and, but I feel it's more about what is naturally available here and what you're used to. Instead of just changing it as per the hype or the Western world's
which is very true.
Norm. So whatever,
seasonal fruits, seasonal vegetables, what grows locally.
So I had done the CGM, the continuous glucose monitoring, for 2 weeks to just figure out what works for my body and what really sustains for a longer duration and stuff like that. I'm a South Indian, born and raised in Bangalore, and rice is something I'm very, very comfortable with. And we had seen that sustains me for better durations rather than a roti.
Genetics also play a big part, right?
Absolutely. So you are geographically where you're located, what you're used to, all that matters. So instead of just going by the fad of articles that say these are good and superfoods healthy, I would say go back to what you're used to, but also watch. I think the missing link is thinking that, I used to eat this prior to this certain age that I am at currently. And even though my lifestyle has changed, how much activity I'm getting has changed, I'm still consuming the same kind of foods.
And age as well, right?
So that needs to modify. So that needs to be changed as per how much you are able to move now. So if I was somebody who was completely inactive and I used to have, say, 1 small katori of poha in the morning with whatever, with a chai, now I'm able to do much more. Let's say I just became a runner and I'm doing much more physical activity, then you will have to increase your intake. You can't stick to that.
True. You have to adapt with your lifestyle and age and surroundings changing, right?
Absolutely.
And I think traditionally in India, your diet was prescribed based on the job you did.
Right.
The more physically or demanding a job was, your diet was in proportion to that, and you can't standardize it for everybody across the spectrum.
We keep having this conversation even with my mother-in-law. Like rice has been made into this
villain
that you
and
should
roti
not
is with gluten been turned into a villain as well.
Yeah. So, but it's not that at all. Earlier, there were no maids. They used to do everything by themselves. So I feel it's about going back to how much work am I able to give my body and eat as per that. So whatever it is on a particular day, you won't believe I have the ability to really chomp down huge meals.
If you're running 173 kilometers, of course you can like
But
slam
some
a
days
huge
I'm
meal.
not feeling hungry. So if it's a rest day and after a rest day, I don't feel that hungry. I don't force myself and think that, I have to eat because this is the norm. So
What about lunch and dinner, Ashwini?
normal fare, but whatever, sambar and the palya, that everything that is prepared at home, I am very blessed to have a mother-in-law who's so supportive, who takes care of things.
Yes.
And I help in whenever I have the time. So it's evenings or dinner time that I bring in the Italian and
Whatever you
Thai,
feel like.
whatever I feel like.
And you don't, what do you say, abstain from things you like to eat, you just find a balance.
That's it. I'm never stopping myself. I love sweets, but it's not like I'm just having it every single day with every meal. It's about timing as well. They say that your digestive system is much stronger when the sun is out.
Correct.
So you can as well eat your favorite sweet at breakfast, as a breakfast show, you can do that because you're going to be able to consume that calorie and not really store it. So lunch and dinner is the normal fare, but along with it, I add tofu, I add sprouts.
Protein.
Additionally for protein, because as vegetarians, it's not really easy to maintain it. And after realizing through my mistakes, I do consume plant-based protein on my hard workout days and my long runs. So about 4 to 5 times in a week, I do have about 25 grams, 2 scoops of protein, add a banana with it and make a smoothie. Just water, banana and the protein powder and have that.
What was your biggest mental challenge on a race like this, Ashwini? Because it's understood that your mental tenacity is way higher than the average person. You're probably in the under 1% of the global population that was able to complete a 173 kilometer run. That is just, I can't get over it. It's insane. 3 mountain climbs, so the terrain is a little unfriendly. You're on a ascend and then you're on a descend. What was going on in your head? Do you listen to music? Are you talking to yourself? Have you reached a state of zen where you blanked out? Like, get me into your head. I want to know what was going on.
It's all of them and more.
Wow.
So, we had these, one particular mountain, I think Mount Simon, had ropes and chains which were installed for us to climb or even come down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, many sections had that because it was so steep. I reached one point, that's the only place where there were a couple of volunteers.
I'm sorry, you said steep. I'm looking at the numbers, 9,000 meter elevation gain?
Yeah, so many people get confused and they're like, what is this higher than Everest? What's higher than Everest? It's the overall elevation that you gain over the duration of 173 kilometers. So let's say it's normal, like 5 kilometer run when you're going from here on MG Road and you come back here. Maybe it's about 80 meters of elevation gain that you get. There's a small uphill,
gradual
and things like
and decline,
that.
Yeah.
So over 173 kilometers, we climbed so much, and that added up to 9,000 meters. So that's what is elevation gain in trail running. But I have to be really honest. People think that when somebody is doing such distances, probably they never go into low points. They're so strong and they're able to do this with such accomplishment. It's a myth. Everyone goes through lows and highs. But the only small difference I feel is that we have the tools to deal with those low points a little better than normal people would. So we've put in the work. I know that going into the event, I'm expecting it to be the hardest thing I've ever done. I went with that mindset. I knew that there will be times when I will find it really hard. But I'm a big fan of this athlete from the US called James Lawrence. And he's someone who's done 101 Ironmans back to back. So an Ironman
life goal is 1 Ironman.
Yeah.
An Ironman, you must, for the ones who don't know, I'm aware it was on my goal list as well. I've gone way past the age where I had to complete it. I had set it for 30. But tell us, for the ones who don't know what an Ironman is, please tell them.
I'm so happy to hear that. So Ironman is 3 events. First is a swim, which is 3.8 kilometers of swim.
Open water.
Open water, and then you have cycling for 180 kilometers, and then a run, which is a marathon, 42 kilometers of running. So this is done, the clock starts when you get into the water, and it ends once you cross the finish line after your run. So he did 101 Ironmans back-to-back in 101 days.
What do you mean? I didn't know
Yeah.
about the back-to-back 101 days. That is
He had the
bonkers.
record for 50, and then he went on to do 101 Ironmans in 101 days.
He had no recovery time, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
He's defied biology and stats. And
So his
Wow.
the name that he goes by is Iron Cowboy. So, I had listened to one of his podcasts where he said that I think on the 47th or 48th day when he was cycling, he really had this lowest point in the whole adventure till then, and he stopped by the side of the road, and then he had a breakdown. He really questioned why he was doing it.
yeah.
And he says that within about 7 minutes of that whole episode, he was able to convince himself to get back on the
Saddle.
bike and then complete it, and also complete that day, and went on to do 101 days. So what he says is, you need to have your why in your arsenal before you begin.
Yes.
So
Your
when it
purpose, your
gets-
reason for it, right?
Exactly. It's not going to be easy to come up with your why when you're going through a hard time. So if I already have it, okay, I'm doing it. I lost my mother 3 years ago to cancer, and she was very proud of what I was doing, being a homemaker and not enjoying any kind of freedom about what she wanted to do. And I always remember her. And during this race, I had 3 moments in which I really wanted to quit.
I was going to ask, did you want to give up?
Absolutely. Those 3 moments, I think, in which was around 30 hours, and then 2-3 hours later. And the last one, I really cried. I sat down.
Oh, wow.
So I went through them. As I said, I went back to why I signed up for this event in particular, when I was already warned that this is one of the hardest race on the Asia Trail Master calendar. That's the series that I've been following, and I've done a couple of events prior to this from theirs. So when I told the founder that I'm choosing Deep Japan, he was like, "Are you sure? Have you done 100 miles before on trail?" And I said, "No, this is going to be my debut." And he was like, "Are you sure you want to go to Japan and do this event in particular for that?"
Deep Japan Ultra 100.
Yeah, so it is considered one of the hardest on the whole series calendar. And, I had been to the US for the same reason, to do my debut 100 miler in Jan 2025. Unfortunately, that event was called off after 80 kilometers midway, because there was an atmospheric storm, and then it really got risky. So the organizers said, "No, we don't want to take this chance," and they called it off. So after that, that event completely happened in pouring rain from start to finish. So for 15 and a half hours, I was completely drenched, cold, and miserable.
Oof.
But I knew about Japan. I had read about the event, and I had also read a couple of race reports from other runners who had run that. And I knew it was something that can be the same way. There can be torrential rains and all of it.
Tell me about these 3 low points, Ashwini, and how you conquered it.
Anytime we go through something like that, I work with a sports psychology coach, Atika, and she has been able to give me that kind of, she has empowered me with thoughts where I'm able to segregate the emotion and the moment, and not really put them together and really be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable, but that shouldn't take you away from the action that you're doing. So when I really had that low moment and I felt, why am I doing this? This is so hard. because 28 hours was the maximum I had ever done. In training for this
You're
event.
telling me you didn't even complete, did you ever run 173 kilometers before that during training?
I've done 181 In a
Continuously?
stadium track. Yeah, I have represented India in the 24 hours. So I've done 181 kilometers. But in preparation for this event for Japan, I did a backyard ultra. It's a format in which it's called the last man standing, in which
Last
6.7
woman standing in this case. But
yeah.
yes.
So 6.7 kilometers every hour on the hour until only one person remains. That's the format. You keep going
Ah, got it.
until there is only one person left. So I did 28 hours there. So, after 28, I have no idea as to how my body is going to respond. But that's something that I was curious to find out. And I decided that, yeah, it will happen in the event. And I have to be ready for whatever my mind and my body is going to throw at me. I knew that that is going to probably come up. I expected it. So when it happened, I said, okay, just breathe. Don't have to think too much. And first moment was when I told myself, let's get to the next checkpoint.
And then we'll see.
Don't worry about anything more that is left in all of this. Probably you are hungry and you're low on energy, and that's why your mind is also not able to have a clear thought process. So I just convinced myself that, okay, I think it was another hour to get to the checkpoint is what I thought, but it took me 2 hours. But at that moment, I am a big fan of Three Idiots and Rajkumar Hirani movies. As he says, all is well. And you just buddhu bana ke rakho, you just keep it that
Convince
way.
yourself.
Yeah, in however you can. So I took that minute or two to just breathe and convince myself that I'm okay and I'm safe. And that is what is the biggest threat to our mind. That it is actually contemplating, are you putting yourself at too much risk? Your heart rate is too high, you're breathing too much and all of this. And it really worked. I
That
went
was
to the
your
next
first
yeah.
low point.
Yeah.
Second low point.
Second one was when it got dark and it was the second night. So Friday 11 a.m. is when we started. And I've spent the whole Friday night and the Saturday evening had begun. I had a goal that it would be nice to do this under 40 hours. And when I knew that that goal is completely out of question, I think that was a second low point. I felt more than 40 hours, what are you doing? You're so slow. And I started questioning my own abilities. And there was a bit of self-doubt that came in. And I was like, are you even meant to be here? Why are you doing this?
Oh,
and
the
all
mind
of
playing
this.
tricks and talking back.
Yeah, and probably it was fatigue and whatever. But that was the time I asked myself, okay, don't you love running in the night? The answer was yes. So you have, I've been taught this lawyer kind of mentality that you need to put yourself into, and for and against. So I was able to at least come out of that when I got more than 3 yeses.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, most of the times we are always thinking about a situation from, rather than facts, opinions.
Yes.
So,
That's true.
when you are able to segregate that, I think it makes it easier. There were bells, big bells on the route where it was very thick jungle and it was night. So we had to ring the bell. So I told myself, see, you just have to go from one bell to the other bell, which is a small section of about 2 to 3 kilometers, and it was all uphill. And I was like, okay, one is done. And I was counting all the bells from then.
Kept your mind busy?
Yeah, just distracted for that moment. And I forgot about that low moment at all. And I was able to, and it was sunrise. So, yeah. The third one, which was the biggest one, was we came up, Japan is called as the land of the rising sun.
Yes, of course.
4 a.m. there was light. It was just 4 and I was like, already? Okay. And okay, then it means that I have 5 more hours to the cutoff. So we had 10 intermediate cutoffs in this event.
And you had to make it to those points within that time,
yeah,
otherwise
and you had to cross them.
Disqualified, right?
Yeah. So I heard that there were quite a few who couldn't make those cutoffs and were out. It's not just the 46 hours overall cutoff, but even these intermediate ones. So I knew that it was a mountain that we had descended in the first day. And that was the same thing that we had to climb up. And I'm pretty strong in downhills. I'm able to tackle them better, but I really, it takes a lot out of me whenever there's an uphill. And usually people overtake me there. And that was a downhill that I have come down. I have not even realized how long that was. And in the second night, that is the one we are trying to climb. So I knew that it was about 1,000 meters of climb, that whole mountain, about 8 kilometers in 1,000 meters. So we are just trudging along, and then there were about 3 or 4 other men with me. They were behind, and then they crossed me in the uphill, and I was so tired. They were sleepwalking a couple of times, and then I asked them, please sit down, because they were going, zigzag. It's
happens,
very, it happens. And there were a lot of false summits on that mountain, which I didn't even realize because it's downhill and I've just gone down, and they're technical downhills. There are a lot of roots, there are boulders and all of this. And I came down, I was like, okay, I can see some opening. Probably that's the uphill, end of the uphill. That's not.
That's the false summit you're talking about.
Yeah, and there were multiple of them. I had thought that I started that climb at 12:30, 8 kilometers, 1,000 meters. Nandi Hills is my training ground. The Nandi stairs is what I have done. I have done half Everesting in that. So 4,200 meters over 12 and a half hours. Just going up and down Nandi stairs. I've done that a few times. So my comparison is always to something that I'm familiar with. And I was like, okay, 1,000 meters, which is 3 loops of Nandi. And usually it takes me 3 hours and I'm very tired. So maybe 4 hours. So I should be able to reach by 4:30 at the top is what I anticipated. I was like, okay, so keep going, you'll get there. And I reached the top at 6 in the morning. And I had 3 more hours left for the last 18 kilometers. So, that point I was like,
that was your third low point.
Yeah, I reached the
and
top.
Rightfully so, yeah. Like you're there, but you're like, is there a point? Am I going to miss the deadline after doing the whole distance?
Exactly. So I was like, 6 o'clock. So I have 3 hours and I still have
18.
like quite a lot of distance to go. I knew the last 10 kilometers were road with one big climb of 150 meters. Otherwise, it was all road. So I knew that I could cover the distance, but we had a very technical downhill from there of 8 kilometers that I had to cover. And I have no idea how I ran that down and somehow managed to reach the finish line. But my husband was there at the finish line, and I think that was the biggest motivation for me, to somehow get myself out there and finish it in time. So yeah, 3 low points, but when I look back, I'm actually very thankful about those low points, because I think that has given me the strength to really look at events in a different light, rather than looking at them as something that I want to do. Now I know how to really tackle them. So I feel very excited about what's to come rather than what has already been achieved.
You've pushed yourself physically, mentally, Ashwini. It's insane. I just want to remind people it's a 173 kilometer race where there are 3 mountain climbs as well. It's a terrain. She didn't sleep for 45 hours and 42 minutes, carried 8 kilos of mandatory safety gear, food, water, didn't sleep for 2 nights. At 39 years of age, this Techie, who's currently an endurance coach, has eventually become the only non-Japanese athlete and the first Indian woman to complete the Deep Japan Ultra 100 this year. I want to wrap this conversation up with a chat about your husband, because you always make it a point to mention him. You say, I take him everywhere with me. Yeah. He seems like your energy fuel. Tell us about his association, contribution, influence on you through the entire journey in the last 10 years, from a 10-kilometer marathon to 173 kilometers.
He was the one who actually got me outdoors. I had never even stepped out onto even a small hike before I met him.
What's his name? We should.
Yeah, his name is Sandeep, and he's a techie, and we met at our first company.
He's still a techie?
He is still, yes. So it was our first company that got us together, and we've been married for 14 years. But he was a guy who took me out for my first hike ever. I come from a very orthodox Brahmin family, and my dad was like, "You're not going anywhere else. It's not safe out there.
Study, be a good girl, get your
Yeah,
degrees.
finish your college, you're coming back home." So I had this deadline of within 1 hour after the college is done, you have to be back home. So once I met my husband, we've done a lot of motorbike trips together, and even I ride. So complete Tamil Nadu coast, complete Kerala coast, Rajasthan, Ladakh. We've done quite a bit of it, and that completely took a backseat after I started running, because I was like, I don't need 2 wheels, I have 2 legs.
Oh, what a name. That's a t-shirt line to put up for all people. Everybody wants to run. I don't need the wheels. I got my 2 legs. That is crazy, Ashwini.
So, he has
Wow.
always been this guy who's said yes to every crazy idea of mine. Even when we did the Ladakh trip, we both were still working then. I think it was 2014. And we had taken 2 weeks off. We've done this bike trip. We reached Srinagar and we had a flight booked. And our vehicle is getting transported back. And I said, you know what? Why don't we just ride back from here to Bangalore? We'll never get to do it, right? We'll just take another 3 days off and then we'll just ride. He said, no, it's too tiring and all of this. And I managed to convince him, and we did that ride back to Bangalore.
Would it be safe to say if Sandeep wasn't in your life, you may never have seen this part of the life that you're living today?
500%.
How wonderful.
If not
How
for
wonderful.
him, they always say that, if there's a successful man, there's a woman behind. I think it's always vice versa. If there is a successful woman, there is also a man behind her. And I feel very proud about the fact that I have him in my life, and my in-laws too. My mom-in-law prepares these.
You started the interview talking about your mother-in-law, which is so cute, which is so rare, and you feel like your diet and everything is being backed and taken care of by her. I'm
Everything.
guessing.
She makes these methi dosas for me. So, because they are good for the muscles and recovery. So, whenever I have my long runs, it's like, okay, I have soaked all of them. So, tomorrow you'll have dosa. After we came back from Japan, after 2 weeks, that's what I had. The
Methi
next day
dosas
morning. Yeah.
made by the mother-in-law.
Yes.
And before we let you go, Ashwini, final word for people who are still on the brink for whatever the goal in life might be, small goal, big goal, an outdoor goal, an indoor goal. Yeah. What would you like to tell them before we let you go? Just your final morsel of motivation.
You can always start. It doesn't matter where you are, what age you are at. If you have a dream and you're passionate about something, I hope that people, I started running when I was 29, and I'm 39 now, so it's been 10 years. I had never imagined that I would have the opportunity to represent the country and really go places, explore the world, make friends from different countries, and be exposed to different cultures. It's such an amazing thing, and running has been this unifier and connector throughout. You don't need the language or anything to talk to somebody on the trail. There were a lot of Japanese that I even
You were showing
met.
me sign language in which you were communicating, right?
Yeah, I was like full dead and all this, and you're still able to communicate, So even if it is a total stranger, you're able to connect with them through your passion. So whatever is your passion, if it is music, if it is Zumba, whatever, we should...
Cooking, art, whatever.
Anything. We always, I had another manager that in my company, Ume, she always used to say, oh, Ashwini, you have so much talent. I have no talent at all.
What you have is resilience, no?
Yeah. Everyone thinks that I'm just made for the software industry. I did my degree and then I got into work and I'm doing this. So when I told her that I'm quitting my job, she was like, oh, you're so talented, you can figure things out. I have no courage. But I think all of us have the courage. We just need to find it. It's in there.
Tap in, that's it.
That's it. So it's just moments where we need to take that time, sit back and figure out there probably was something you were really good at as a child, or something that really ticked for you that has taken a complete backseat and has been just under the cover for too long. So if you can find that and along with your work, pursue it, maybe that's your retirement plan.
And it's never too late.
Never too late.
Ashwini, such an exciting conversation with you. For anyone who's been struggling with motivation of late, I think this should induce a lot of life. Thank you so much for joining us on this show, for sharing your story. I know you have another race coming up in August, which you want to mentally prepare for. In case someone wants to follow you and see what you're doing, are you active on social media?
Yes, I am. So, you know, when I was not on Instagram, and when I wanted to open my account, I really thought about what I want to do, and my account is Make Life Happen Now. That's been my handle for as long as I've been there, with underscores after each word. So make life happen now, because I feel all of us live thinking tomorrow I'm going to do something, after 2 years I'm going to retire, I'm going to take up something else, and but it's never tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen. So make it happen now. So make life happen now is me, Ashwini Ganapathi Bhat, on Instagram.
Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure. All the best for your races ahead, and more power to you.
Thank you so much. I'm really flattered, and I'm so glad to have this conversation with you, Nisha.
Thank you so much.
बजाते रहो